Sorry, that was a yawn. Hi there, this is Chris. How you doing? Right. So if you're just watching this on YouTube, you'll have no fucking clue what I'm doing. I do apologise. For anyone else who's been following along the thread, which I've hilariously called "Buy Something Please," with a response to one of the posts that one of the guys there made. One of the problems that I really have, and you probably notice this yourself if you follow along with the tutorials, which is probably why they're about 1,000 flipping hours long, is it's quite hard for me as an educator to express in kind of a one sentence what it is that I do and why you should like it, all this kind of junk, you know? So I'm going to try and show you what it is that I'm kind of fighting against, apart from my own common sense, if you know what I mean. Now obviously this is 3d-palace, this is the forums, this is how the forums currently look. I know a lot of people complain about cramping on the images on the side here. If you got it full screen, obviously it doesn't do that, but not a lot of people run their screen at the same resolution as me. 3d-palace forum actually used to be more like, hang on, this. Now ignore the theme on this, I just stripped it down, yeah? But it had all these kind of sub-forums here, news and features, 3d-palace chat. The ball pond was a place that I created because we were getting people in and they were asking questions, and we thought, ooh, maybe I'll just segregate them off to this area here where they can ask their easy questions. It didn't work, it was just kind of insulting to them. But this was a while ago, you can see that was 0501 2011, so that's what, May, there we go. But anyway, we used to have all these forums here, and generally what I did was I thought, well, you know, people aren't really using the site as much, maybe there was too many sub-forums, so I stripped it down to this, which is not many forums at all, yeah? I mean, over here on the right we've got this kind of status updatey thing, and then if people want to chat they go to the all-new chat forum. It's quite similar to the last one, it says. And, I mean, there's pages here of stuff. It's a good forum as well. It's quite nice because it's quite relaxed, as long as you don't do the old like posting porno or links to cheap mobile phones and stuff. We're always quite happy to see. A lot of people don't know we have this community, which is a shame. I mean, looking at this one, or even if you go back to our archived one, which I put up because I thought I might let people decide which one they prefer, and then we can switch back. I mean, if we go here, you know, this is where I developed all my tutorials. Now, a lot of tutorials you're going to look at and you're going to go kind of, well, why didn't they get developed anymore? What happened to them? Well, I mean, let's just have a look at some of these. Architectural visualization 4 did happen. It was quite a fast tutorial, but I went ahead and made that one. Making Mex 1, obviously that did. This is what I was up to at the time. This is Fluxd, obviously, and his hard surface sub-D techniques. The Rodimus thread. Well, Rodimus caught because people were saying, hey Chris, you know, why are you still doing robots? Robots aren't popular, you've done so many robots, why do you keep doing them? And the thing is, when a tutorial like that is going to take me 6 to 9 months, it's very hard to get it to come out at the same time as a movie's going to come out, yeah? Or to keep people's interest in it. I mean, the last movie, the last Transformers movie, sucked nuts, it was terrible, absolutely hated it. So, I mean, the Rodimus set stalled and eventually became Robots set 1, 2 and 3. 3 didn't really work out because I think people didn't understand that I'd done an entire tutorial just for the weapon. And they thought, well, maybe it's just a cashing in thing. Which I think, if I'm being honest with myself, maybe it was. I'm thinking of moving weapon to being just either free or part of that set. In fact, I'll probably make it free later on today, to be honest, now that I think about it. Anyway. Down here we've got the Pariah thread. Now a lot of people were like, oh, Pariah, fantastic, they really wanted the Pariah. They didn't want the Pariah. There was no real use for it. It was a organic / mechanical model piece, and I mean, it's a lovely thing. I really enjoyed making the Pariah. But, I mean, you can see how detailed it is, but people just didn't kind of get into it. And I mean, that one took me a long time to make. And it was very hard for me to explain exactly what benefit they were going to get from it, besides, you know, follow along and make a big flippin' alien. Okay, let's look at some other stuff. Well, here's the architecture set. Chris Lee did a fantastic job on that. There wasn't a lot of take-up simply because, again, it's very hard for me to, you know, tell people, buy this set, it's fantastic. I mean, I'm not an architect and I'm not great with reducing things to short amount of words. That's why I talk for so long. So here we have the TDW Masterclass. That was what became the Basilisk. Now, obviously, Kenny didn't sell very many copies of that at all, and in the end he said, we may as well make this just a free set, and I agreed with him. So obviously it's going to be hard to persuade him to do another one like that. And then if we go down, we've got all this stuff here that was done by Lee Barron. Now Lee's a really talented tutorial author, and it's a great shame that he's not with us anymore, but he had a lot of things that he had to go off and do, unfortunately. Sometimes your personal life does intrude with what's going on at 3D-palace, and sometimes it's really hard getting a computer that's kind of powerful enough to do this in the first place. And then down here we've got all the other stuff as well, okay, like Mudbox live in Berlin. The Mudbox stuff, basically what happened with that was that Wayne gets fiercely competitive with other sites, and he thought rather than trying to compete with them, he'd give away all of his Mudbox stuff for free, and that would teach them a lesson. And it was quite a genius plan, but it also completely killed the Mudbox training market in one fell swoop at the same time for everybody. So that's kind of a brief rundown of what happened. I mean, the Imperial ISD Star Destroyer, Lee Barron's computer died, unfortunately. That was going to be a beauty. I mean, it really was lovely. And unfortunately he didn't have a backup of that. The Rodimus set, well, this will come, but it's maybe something I'll try and remember to talk about. So what I'll do is I'll just make a note, Rodimus, there we go. Okay, so anyway, let's go back to 3D-palace and what I was talking about, right? So, like I say, there's quite a lot that I've got to fight against, namely my own inability to explain to you guys what it is that I've done. Now, I rebuilt the front of 3D-palace because my view was that it was taking too long for people to find what they needed, and we had a kind of top drop-down menu, and it had like all the different sets on it and things like that, and I thought, well, to be honest, if people want to buy sets, you know, they can go to the store, which, you know, you just click on it, obviously, and wait. Now, the old store, this is the store that we're currently using. Basically 4 categories here, and you go, oh, I quite fancy a 3ds Max tutorial, and you come to our tutorials and you go, oh, making Max, and you click that, and then you buy it. And it takes a moment or two to load. It's probably not the fastest shop in the entire world, but it's quite descriptive. I mean, this is a complete 38-minute part. I think part of the problem was that the way that it's presented makes it kind of difficult for people to see what they're learning, to a degree. I mean, I'm not great at presenting information. Making mechs is like a huge tutorial set. I mean, you literally make the whole of this. I remember when I was learning how to do 3D, I would honestly have like sawed off 4 of my toes to be able to learn how to do this, because I was doing it all by books at the time. So, I mean, this is another example, UDK Psychology and Ergonomics of Game Level Design. I ran a course called Ergonomics at Ergonomics of 3D and Hard Surface Modelling at Animex. The year before I just called it Big Robots, and they were having to stand outside and look through the window. When I called it Ergonomics of Hard Surface Design, I got 4 people and one thought it was maths. Just to indicate that. Right, anyway, I'm going to have to log into this, so let's see, I want to go to my Prime membership, click here, just wait a second, it'll take me to membership options, there we go. Now, this hopefully gives people an idea of what's going on here. Probably not that great though, so I'll pause it and show you exactly what goes on as well. Okay, this should show you a little bit better. This is Prime. When you're logged into Prime, basically it does have these 4 big buttons. Now, truth be told, this button and this button are the only ones anyone needs. I'm going to get rid of these. I think I only put these in here really as filler. No one reads the news, no one cares about being able to access like the Facebook page and stuff like that. So, in fact, what I'm probably going to do is make it when people log in, it just goes straight to this page soon. So if you go to Prime, this is the bit where everyone goes. I removed the stuff that no one was using, like HDRI maps and reference images and things that I thought were being extra useful. They never used them. Instead, what they want is tutorials, and lots of them. Yeah. So over here is a load of our premium content, and I think this is kind of what surprises a lot of people, because, you know, if you want to watch Basilisk, which I'm sure I said I've made free, never mind, UDK Masterclass 2, I think we've got UDK Masterclass 1 up here somewhere, we've got 3 there. I mean, there's loads and loads of stuff here, and I'm adding new stuff all the time. And then down here, in this bit, is where I'm adding tutorials as they're being made, so you can watch them as they go along. Now, you can't download them, and it's a secure stream, but you can watch them, and you can watch them anytime you want. You want to watch them on like an iPad or an Android phone or whatever you can. Okay, and that was the whole idea of this, just convenience. I used to think that really kind of the sponsor members were getting a shitty deal for what they were doing to help 3D-palace. And I thought, what would I like if I was like, you know, helping out 3D-palace and giving us money monthly? And I thought, well, I want a shitload of tutorials. And so that's what I gave everyone, a shitload of tutorials. Okay, let's duck back. I'm going to go to Drive. So, if you go to Drive at the minute, you're not going to see very much at all. This is it, invitees only. If you've received a registration link, then use it. That's because Drive's kind of, for a long time now, been a bit of a hidden kind of thing. When I was learning, it was all about books. As I got older and I'd learned 3D, it became more about videos, short video tutorials. Then we instituted the first massive video tutorials. And I mean, don't believe any bullshit other sites tell you. 3D-palace's APU was cutting edge in that no one else had approached doing a DVD set that long. They'd done small parts, you know, like making something or other, and then making another something or other, a bit like the Master Seminar sets. But they'd never done like a complete end-to-end, how to make something this big, kick-ass end project. And so we did that for quite a long time. Now Drive is like the continuation of that, and I'll just log in. Okay, and this is Drive. It's basically just a tool set. You've got your 5 buttons, basically making it simple, just like we did with the other forum. One of them makes you log out. The middle one's the contacts. Then you've got your forum, your project, and your assets. It doesn't work in the same way that a video tutorial site does. That's the first thing to explain. If you're entering Drive, the whole idea was, what would you do if you wanted to learn how to be really good at a particular aspect of 3D? And with the beta test, it's been game development and level design. So, let's say you want to learn level design, then you can pick up some books, you can go on the internet and learn about it, and, you know, join a couple of modding teams, things like that. Or, what about if you wanted to do it intensively? You've got, you know, you want to do it in 6 months over your spare time, and you want to become really, really good at it. That was what Drive's for, or what Drive is for, rather. It's a simulated office environment. You've got your team manager, you've got your project lead, you've got your art leads, you've got basically all the people. You've got your email address, you've got your organizer tools, that's all inside of your project stuff. You've got deadlines, very strict deadlines. You've got basically slaps and bennies. You've got to finish your work in time. You're on the course, you're going to finish your work. You don't finish your work, you're either going to get like suspended from the course, or you're going to get dropped from the course completely. It's all about getting your work done, and it's all about working to your deadlines, and it's all about learning whilst you're doing it. The team leader is also a tutor. Basically everyone else is everyone in the course is a tutor, and they're making material for you as you go along. So if we go into my assets, this is the level designer workbench. So over here you've got your basic documents, such as your milestone 1 documents with project scopes. You've got your help documents over here for time management and things like that. Down here you've got videos on basics, lighting, LD content. You've got some sets on tutorials here. You've got your recommended watching for the day here. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Plus you've got access to restricted forums where you can ask questions. You can get one-on-one time with us, basically on the quest. The whole idea is, for the first few weeks, we're going to get you up to speed. We're going to teach you how to do stuff. So if you're doing level design, we're going to teach you about the level designing tools, and teach you about what makes good level design, things like this. Then we're going to kind of, you know, all kindly like, talk about a project and show you how to do a couple of bits, and then we're going to throw you in the deep end, and we're going to assign you a project, assign you the artwork that goes with the project. We're going to tell you what it is we need you to make. You're going to plan it out. It's going to be reviewed by a team of managers. The managers are then going to obviously give you the feedback on it and tell you what to change. During the course of the actual program, there are going to be emergency changes made into it that you're going to have to work on the fly. You've got your deadlines, and it's not a case of we hand you this thing and say, here, we want you to make this game, or we want you to make this level. No, it's a case of you've got all your milestones, and your first milestone comes in and you have to get your part done for that milestone in time, and once you've hit that milestone it knocks on and you go on to the next milestone, and we do that. And it simulates as accurately as we can the kind of stresses and the real kind of interplay that goes on inside of a proper working development and production kind of office, to the degree that we can. And at the end of it, obviously we're going to give you a certificate that says congratulations, you passed. We're going to give you a reference, we're going to give you a show reel, we're going to host up your show reel, and we're even going to introduce you to some people inside the industry who would be probably quite interested to meet you. You know, because Drive works with various recruitment partners as well, and we're going to pass on our information to you through that, or onto some of the people that we know who we've taught in the past who might have interest or requirements. I mean, we're not promising you we're going to get you a job, but we are going to work as hard as we can to help you where we can. Okay, last bit that I'm going to talk about. This is one of our repositories. This is where stuff kind of goes to be born, or goes to be, like, you know, goes to die, basically. So I'll just walk you through some of the things we've got. So if you have a look in here, I mean, everything that I go off and I make, or everything that someone else makes and submits to 3d-palace, kind of comes in here. And once it's been saved off, it'll perhaps go off somewhere else. But I mean, there's Flux's bike, that's the original, without a watermark, and that's the watermark processing. That's a games dev site. There, that's the folder that I was using to develop spaceships, and will do again, probably. The Scorpion emplacement is a transform project that I'm working on at the moment. I've been working on and off on that. Project R was originally going to be Project Rodimus, which is why we have all these kind of parts and things that we're going to use to make Rodimus, and they will be again. It's just, you know, I've got to get the time to do it. Photoshop textures, that was a tutorial. There's the Pariah, and the Pariah, I mean, 120 megs complete animation to back burner, huge piece, really huge. If we look, there's the Keep, Tube Train, that was part of UDK1, which is there. UDK Meshes, UDK3, UDK2. I use VDub mod a lot to make our stuff smaller. The Nornan is an offshoot of the Pariah. I don't have time to make it at the moment. I can't be sure if making it's going to be worth my time or not. Autodesk Project 1, that's the project I made for Autodesk, obviously. I mean, this is all the stuff that I'm currently working on, or that I'm waiting for someone to come in and put a sequel onto. So I keep all the UDK sets so I can run sequels for that. And then down here I've got obviously lots of files that I'm just working on at any one particular point. I mean, primarily I'm working in 3ds Max and a few other bits. Right, so that's an explanation of what I'm doing, why stuff I'm doing is kind of petering a bit and stuff like that. I mean, all of everything that I kind of do is coordinated through here. So if you want to contact me, hello, is anyone there? Sad face. You see, you want to come in, come in. This is our IRC channel, you know? I'm always in here. I mean, sure, there may be a couple of hours that I'm not, but everything's coordinated through here. If you know, wonder why something's happening, pop in, or post on the forum, obviously. It doesn't take you very long. The comments I've had in that thread have been really, really useful, and I am going to be acting on all of them. It's hard. It really is hard, because, like I say, there's just me. I'm not detracting from what the other administrators do. They do a great job. I mean, Rec helps me on Drive. Chris Lee helps kick me up the arse repeatedly. Chris Kerr, we don't know what he does. Alan, obviously, is my senior administrator, and he does a great job of keeping an eye on Palace. And then we've got all our moderators and stuff. But, I mean, I put in long, long, long hours here. And you can imagine it gets kind of depressing and a bit dismaying when there's not a lot going on. So, your help's really appreciated, and I'm going to do everything I can, obviously, to kind of get this place shaking and moving, and hopefully we can get somewhere. But this is what I do, what Drive does, what Prime does, and what 3d-palace does. Oh, and Steel Python. I may as well show you this. I've got 30 seconds or so to spare. So this is Steel Python, which is our dynamic water marking and delivery system, yeah? And it's a beautiful system in that we upload our new tutorials to it, and then I go to 3d-palace administration area for Steel Python, and kick off your process downloads, and then you can access them. And it's about as easy as that. You just log in. I don't think there's anything to log into on this account. I don't even think it exists. But you log in to your account, and you can download your video tutorials as they're developed. So, I've got this horrible feeling these things are probably slightly out of date. Yeah, they are. Never mind, I'll update them later. So anyway, come and check out what we've been doing. Come and ask me questions. Come and kick me up the arse if you think I need to kick up the arse. We'll work hard on trying to get you the stuff you want. So, honestly, we look forward to your comments, your feedback, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to come up with kind of a witty catchphrase at the end because I'm fucked if I can think of one. I really can't. So, big kisses and hugs.